Oh, you want a light? I got you. You know, I was thinking to myself the other day that this channel has a lot of moves, a lot of sleight of hand. But what if you don't know anything? What if you only know how to hold the deck of cards and maybe cut it? What could you do? How could you control a card? How is it that you could control a playing card, something that requires traditional sleight of hand, but without any sleight of hand? Lets you get a card from the middle of the deck, have the participant cut it, and still get it on top of the deck without any work on your end. All you have to know is how to hold a deck of cards and maybe how to cut. You don't need to hold any breaks or join the PigCake Magic Academy. Of course, if you want to learn more advanced sleight of hand, I do recommend the PigCake Magic Academy, as I've mentioned before. Just look at the list of sleights that you get. Again, as I've mentioned many times, this isn't even scratching the surface of what you get. You get 1,200 videos. I think it's very reasonable. Why don't you go check it out? Just look at that. Look at the list. It hasn't stopped scrolling. I'm sure at some point it's going to stop scrolling when I cut the take, but still, look at that. So for this, we're going to be needing a deck of playing cards. Oh, look, it's my deck of playing cards, which will hopefully be making its way to your hands relatively soon. So we're going to have a card picked. Let's say it happens to be this one, the King of Hearts. So at this point, the participant is looking at their card, and all you do is just cut the cards to the table and have the participant place their card back. Of course, you replace the cut, and now you could pick up the deck of cards. You could cut the cards. You're not holding any sort of breaks. You could have the participant cut the cards. They could cut the cards in their hands. And even through this very fair procedure, the card is under your complete control. How is that possible, you might be asking yourself? With no sleight of hand, I'm not holding any breaks, and yet I could get that card to the top of the deck at any point in time. How do I do that? Well, here's the secret. It's the Joker, baby. It's the Joker. The Joker is the secret to this particular trick. The setup is as follows. You're going to take the Joker, and you're going to place it under the deck. How's that for continuity? You're then going to have a participant select any card they want. Let's say for the sake of explanation, they happen to pick this one, a Jack of Diamonds. While they're picking the card, all you're going to do is just cut approximately half the cards to the table. This doesn't require any sleight of hand. All it requires you to do is just lift up a portion of cards and drop them on the table. Now at this point, you're going to have the participant drop their card on top. And remember, this Joker is face up on the bottom of the deck. So because you've cut the cards, you're now placing this card on top of the participant's card. Doesn't that make you want to just beat your wife? Oh boy, it really just makes me excited. You know what I'm saying? So now at this point, a participant could cut the cards as many times as they want. They could truly cut the cards. You could cut the cards. Again, this doesn't require any sleight of hand, and the participant thinks that they have some control. Really, they have no control. Neither do you, because you've chosen magic as a living. Now, whenever you want to control the card, all you have to do is either spread the cards like this, and notice the Joker. Now at this point, you could just simply cut all the cards above the Joker to the table, take the Joker and place it in your pocket as you cut the cards and replace them, which guess what? Brings their card directly to the top of the deck. Remember, they placed the Joker when they cut the cards on top of their card. So by removing the Joker and cutting the cards this way, it's a natural action, and it just looks like I'm taking out the Joker from the deck. But now I've actually controlled their card to the top of the deck with no sleight of hand. Now, if the participants happen to cut the cards and they cut directly to the Joker, well, guess what? You're good to go. All you have to do is just take the Joker, put it in your pocket, and you don't have to do anything. Their card is on top of the deck automatically. Now, if you want, again, this one requires a little bit of sleight of hand, but only very little. As a matter of fact, it requires the same amount of sleight of hand as my penis. All you have to do is put your thumb on the side of the deck and just let the cards fall naturally. What's going to happen is, because of the bend of the cards, these cards are actually going to bend in a way that allow you to cut directly to the Joker. Keep in mind that the Joker is usually face down, but because it's face up, it's going to have a natural break. So you could just cut the cards at this point, cut to the Joker directly, and now put the Joker away, and it's the exact same thing. The card is still controlled to the top of the deck, ready for you to do whatever trick you want. So whenever you hear a complicated word like card control, you don't have to be intimidated. You could do something like this that requires no sleight of hand whatsoever, and it gets their card to the top of the deck precisely where you need it for whatever trick you need it for, and you're good to go, baby. As I mentioned before, we're working on the last steps in order to bring these cards to your hands. These are my deck of playing cards. They're called the missing piece. For obvious reason, you could see it's the missing piece of the cake. If you're familiar with the PigCake logo, you've noticed that there's a chunk of it missing, and it's here on the back of the cards, the missing piece. Hopefully, we're going to get these cards in your hands soon enough. These are, of course, early prototypes. These aren't the final version, but it's still going to be a good indicator as to what they're going to look like, at least from the back. Usually I like to give some advice at the end of the video. Right now I'm having a hard time finding something in my environment that's going to allow me to give you a little bit of advice, something that you could use in your regular day-to-day life. You know what? This is good. This is good. This is called the Tangle Teaser. I bought this a while ago. This is for hair. It's a nice way of detangling your hair from having knots. If you notice, I have long hair, and knots are a problem. So this fixes that. You shower, you wait for your hair to dry. You don't want your hair to be wet because that's when it's at its weakest. And you start from the bottom and you work your way to the top and you remove the knots from your hair, which makes your hair look like you don't care about it. So this is a good bit of kit for those of you guys that have long to medium-ish hair. If you have a short buzz cut, God bless you.
I see you again, when 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 I see